Yeah.
Call this meeting to order. Good morning. It's Monday, April the 9th. It's a little bit after 10. I'd like Mr. Lee Falk to do the pledge and Mr. Fountain do the prayer, please. Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please recite the Lord's Prayer. Our Father,
Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen.
Thank you. Moving to item number 3, administration. Darrell, I know you got a little report from Ryan. Ryan and a couple of jurors are in Baton Rouge this morning. They're hearing a bill, so Darrell, go ahead and give us a little update on what's going on, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Park. Yeah, Mr. Park and Gerard's welcome this morning. Ryan, then as he left, we talked about a couple of things he wanted me to mention this morning. Number one, a review of the police jury. We conducted some town hall meetings this past month in Grand Lake, Hackberry, Johnson Bayou, Klondike, and Creo. Ryan presented the report of the state of the activity in Cameron Parish, and he had included a detailed review of the pilot, which is now a stipulated tax payment, the bills that are being debated in the legislature right now. Ryan reviewed all that with those in attendance. The two bills, why Ryan and 3 of the jurors are in Baton Rouge. Senate Bill 294 and 346 will be heard today at 1:30 p.m. at the Senate Revenue and Fiscal Affairs Committee hearing. Ryan, representatives of the police jury, the school board, and others will be testifying in support of these bills on behalf of Cameron Parish. The town halls meetings were well attended, and Ryan, of course, did an outstanding job presenting what was going on in Cameron Parish and explaining the bills to those that were in attendance. I think, everybody got a chance to make 1 or 2 of them, and we appreciate the support there. There were excellent questions, I believe, posed throughout at those different areas, and Ryan addressed them pretty well. A lot of us got involved in that, and from the discussions, and I think it'd be fair to say there was overwhelming support to continue these efforts in support of this plan to enter these agreements with these companies coming into Cameron Parish. I'm going to make a note, the parish assessor, he attended the Grand Lake Committee and none others, and he's opposing these bills, so I think that needs to be noted. Secondly, Corps of Engineers, going to the next item, that'll conclude the pilot discussion. The Corps of Engineers study, commissioned through the planning assistance to the state that y'all allocated money for, will be released this month. It's currently in hand. We're going to review it. We're going to release it to the public this month. It'll be posted on the website after we get a chance to go through and see all the aspects of it. There's going to be a 45 to 60 day review period for public comment after it gets posted on the website, and then we'll take those comments under advisement and go forward from there. So Ryan wanted to mention that. Also, and lastly, the Cameron Parish, the bonding of the Cameron Parish allocation of the Go Mesa funding for some of these shoreline extension projects. That will be on the State Bond Commission agenda and on April the 19th. The bonding attorneys, led by Jay Delafield, they met with the state treasurer, kind of discussed this this bonding initiative and met with some favorable reviews for it, thought it was a good idea. So that should help in getting to the State Bond Commission. So we get approval from that, we can go forward with it from there. And that is all that I have.
Thank you, Darrell. Y'all have any questions on anything discussed with Mr. Williams? Being not, Darrell, we're gonna move on to the next item.
Yes, sir.
Item number 4, levying the 2017 ad valorem tax and millage. The process review. Darrell, you want to speak on that, please?
Yes, Mr. Brown, Mr. Fork, look, I put we have to levy our taxes. There's a process to do that. The current millage rates that were adopted last year, that's what I have for you at the assessed taxable value for 2017. I'm gonna use that to kind of project, and we'll meet with, with Katie and Ryan during the month, and we're not going to, we levied them at the adjusted maximum millage rate for all those last year. We're not gonna raise them. We're gonna see what we can lower and all that. Therefore, we do not have to go through the process where we have to notify everybody. We can just have our standard meeting next month, and we can adopt them at that meeting since we're not raising any millage rates. So we will do this. I will send in advance to where y'all can review them individually once we get our recommended rates for y'all to consider. It'd take me a week or two and get them there in advance of the next meeting. But we shouldn't have any, we don't need to have a special meeting next month to do that and give y'all a chance to look at it and do it at our regular meeting in May. And that's, just want to go over that process with you and let y'all know what we're working on.
Thank you, Darrell. Y'all got any questions?
So next month you'll have the
Yeah, they're not gonna be what, if you look on that handout, this is what we're currently adopted for that we received this year. So
that's pretty much our max.
that's the adjusted maximum, assessed maximum millage. They're not, we're not gonna recommend any higher than that, of course. I mean, we can't. So we're gonna go through review, and a lot of it depends on what goes on with the legislature here, so, but we're gonna see what we can roll back and what we can't. Some of the fire districts that we've adjusted last year, we're gonna have to keep them at what they are, because they're, some of them are struggling, so, and so when we get that, I'm gonna send that to y'all. I just need a week or two to get, we've been fighting, we've been in Baton Rouge for the last 2 weeks, so just, we'll look at it and get that to y'all.
All good, gentlemen? Any other questions, Mr. Williams, on any of the loan tax rolls? Anything at this time? Sir? Okay, go ahead, Mr. Bell.
Claire,
Yes, sir.
can you give us an update on the court, where we stand?
For Port Cameron, the limited liability company? Sure, we have limited
Come
information.
on up to the mic, Claire, if you don't mind, please.
Sure.
Makes it a little easier for some of us that can't
Yes.
hear.
Port Cameron, the limited liability company, as far as I understand, has received its final Army Corps permit. It's a wetlands mitigation permit. That permit has not been loaded to the Army Corps website as of Friday, so should see that soon. We were told at the end of 2017 that by project team members that if the project did receive its final permit by December, which has already passed, they would start construction in quarter 1 or quarter 2 of this year. So being that it was bumped forward a month, I guess we don't have confirmation that it will start at any point. We don't have a construction date yet. So
Yeah, that was my question.
That's not a great update, but-
If they have a date,
no construction start date yet, no sir. As soon as we get word, we will certainly let you know. You're welcome.
Thank you, Claire. Anything else, gentlemen?
I got one thing.
Go ahead, Terry.
Getting back to the bills and that, I want to thank Miss Cindy for holding some of these, our opponents to the fire about some information. And she went and got information. She did her job not only as a reporter, but as a citizen of Cameron Parish. I want to thank you for that.
I appreciate you mentioning that, Terry. You
Yeah.
probably should have mentioned that because
Yeah,
that's a big deal because this is
Yeah.
a group that out there that basically is disseminating,
She held him to the fire.
they're disseminating,
She'd have done
false
this
information. And they did it right before a committee hearing and no, Miss Cindy did get in touch with them and, you know, pretty much, like you said, held their feet to the fire. And,
We appreciate that.
We appreciate it.
Unfortunately, people in Baton Rouge don't read the Cameron
No.
Pilot, so.
That's all right.
no, but I have a feeling Ryan's gonna let them know today that, you know, and he did, he has sent your article along with that in advance of this to all those committee members. And your article and the presentation is having an effect up there. That we do know. It's changed the level of the discussion on those that are opposing this. And I think one thing, if you read the American Press Saturday, the Calcasieu Parish assessor, who was one of the opponents of this, had an article in there, and if Ryan Booyock wouldn't have had the discussion with her Tuesday about just what she had, I don't think she would have been saying that. So maybe, you know, just we've been working on this a long time, and you know, it gets frustrating. So, but no, I agree with you.
Thank you, Darrell. Thank you, Ms. Cindy. Any other questions, gentlemen? Being none, let's go review your agendas. I know there's quite a bit on here for discussion on the agendas. Darrell, I know that on back number 15, we got a bunch of changes on the courthouse square that's being renovated.
Yeah, Mr. Park, just if you can, we got the official change order. In fact, I got it this morning. And some of these numbers will change, but it's gonna lower the increase to 14,697 instead of the 19,913.
Okay.
There was just some, you know, on that, they changed some of the numbers and the increases, so, but on these change orders, as we discussed, the judge they're making some interior selections, and it's just some things we're having to deal with, and it's,
This is stuff that was expected.
yeah, Mr. Carter, just, and, you know, some of the things that we're just deciding to do are just in the best interest of the project, you know, for the future of that construction, so. Yeah, and this approval from y'all will be contingent, the state still has to approve it too, so it'll be contingent upon that approval.
And Mr. Carter, you done, Mr. Darrell?
No, I was just looking, there to see if there's anything else that needed to be, you know, that needed, that y'all know about.
Kurt, y'all went out from record district file, Kim?
No.
You want to just keep it there? Okay. That's about all we got up there right now. The appointments. Kurt, is there a permit or something you did, everything's good?
No, I already talked to, Carrie about I was worried about, I'm pretty sure that's just gonna be a replacement of that. I think, Carrie, I wouldn't know why they would do anything else other than that.
When we get back to the office, I will look it up and let you know.
Okay, thank you.
You got something, Lee? No. It's all good.
You send that for more.
No, it's bad enough he's gonna be speaking at 1 o'clock, he'll probably speak till 2 o'clock.
It's okay. He goes there.
Anything else, guys?
I'd just like to, say one thing.
Okay.
I'd just like the staff, and I talked to Darrell about it this morning, to make sure that the jury's aware of any projects in the parish where the parish is funding projects on private lands that we're fully aware of and fully up to speed. And I know that's gonna take work from Miles that does permits and stuff, that works on these grants and different things, especially where we make a match. In other words, if we doing a project on private lands whether, I know Cooper and different ones, we do private partnerships, where we're doing projects, water control structures and all of that. Just make sure the jury's fully up to speed on what it is, where it's at, who it affects, and all of that. I know they do a good job, but to me, I feel like sometimes I'm not quite understanding, and it's my job to ask questions, but I like to make sure that we're up to speed. I feel like I need to be up to speed on some of this.
Yeah, Ron, well, when it comes to the equipment projects and the other projects coming out, are we gonna do any type of funding? Ron,
We do a lot of water control structures and a lot
All over.
different things. I know the drainage boards and everybody else goes in with this, but especially when it comes to us funding out the money, our match money, we need to make sure we understand what exactly that is before, we approve these projects. That's all I have to say.
Good?
Yeah.
Terry? Doris?
Yeah,
You got one more thing?
Yeah, Darrell, this, number 11, approved resolution of Parish participation in local parish and mutual aid. What's that all about?
That is a mutual aid agreement with coastal parishes in the disaster that basically work together. And we've done this previous, Mayor, did we look, was it last year?
2015.
2015, every year. It's a joint mutual aid agreement.
How many years?
2015 for
2015 was the
sure.
first year?
That's where we share in a disaster, we can share.
Work together.
Or whatever the person.
Yes.
I think, Danny, you part of that too, weren't you?
I don't know about that one, but on that Southwest Mutual Aid.
Yeah, it's similar to the one we do with
Yeah, it's
Calcasieu,
with the coast,
except
difference
it's,
on the coast area.
right.
Yes, I mean, I can, the resolution here, like as we said, it's with,
Well, that's fine.
it's, I can list the parishes, it's coastal parishes throughout the state.
Okay, well, that's just the first time I've heard of it. Well, maybe not, but it's the first time I've heard of it.
Just want to see,
Yeah.
and, basically it's for disaster. Recovery efforts.
Okay. Anything else, guys? Y'all good with it? All right, I think our next meeting at 3 o'clock here, back at the school board, for the
Yes.
good of court
Yes, sir.
in our annex building. See y'all at 3 o'clock. This meeting's adjourned.